my bad. Okay, so I'm gonna be working on this again. I still need to get a hold of how the services work. How these services work, network replicated. I mean, I have some idea, but like, here, I need to pop up the chat. See if any of y'all are watching. Get a hold of how. Okay, let me see. Let's pop out the chat. Okay, and then we're gonna ask chat, or we're gonna do Roblox AI help. I remember there was a help thing. The generative AI thing. It was a part of the Roblox website. I asked it. So let's check out Roblox documentation. Here we go. This assistant right here. Okay, so what is server script service and server script service, server storage, replicated storage.
What is that on the floor, bro? What is that on the floor? Is that poop?
Wow, there's a lot. Replicated first.
What is that?
Replicated first and
what is
replicated
that?
storage. What? The doubles thing.
Oh, it scared me.
Okay. Anyways, I forgot to put the chat out here. Where's my chat? Okay, here it is. Okay, here we go. What is server script service, server storage, replicated storage, and replicated first? Please try again later. Huh?
He actually does have a universe in it. So ironic.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Server script service. Server script service is a container service that holds server-side scripts that scripts runs on the server and can perform actions that should only be executed on the server, such as handling game logic, managing player data, or performing server-side calculations. Server script service is not replicated to the client and is only accessible on the server. Let's see. Server storage. Server storage is a container service that holds server-side assets. These assets can include models, audio files, textures, or any other resources that are needed on the server. Server storage is not replicated to the client and is only accessible on the server. Replicated storage. Replicated storage is a container service that holds the content that needs to be replicated between the server and the client. Is a container service that holds the content that needs to be replicated between the server and the client. This includes scripts, models, audio files, or any other assets that need to be accessible on both the server and the client. Replicated storage is automatically replicated to the client when they join the game, allowing them to access content stored in it. This is replicated first is a container service that holds objects that you want to replicate to the client when they join the game for the first time. This can include essential objects that are needed to initialize the player's experience, such as client-side scripts or UI elements. The content in replicated first is replicated from the server to the client only once when they join the game. So, let me see. Provide examples for the following. Server script service. You can place server-side scripts in servers. Server script service to handle game logic. Hello. Trying to figure out what these services are supposed to be. You can place server-side scripts and server script servers to handle game logic. I thought you said it was 1 a.m. a while ago. That's weird, but okay.
Whoa.
If your game requires custom maps or levels, you can store them in server storage until they are needed. When a player reaches a certain point in the game, you can clone and parent the map from server storage into the workspace for them to play on. Oh. Okay, replicated storage is useful for sharing content between the server and the client. For example, if you have a game that requires a shared leaderboard, you can create a module script in replicated storage that handles the leaderboard functionality. Both the server and the client can access this module script to update and display the leaderboard. Replicated first is used for objects that need to be replicated to the client when they join the game for the first time. You can place a local script and replicate the sets of the player's UI, such as displaying their health bar or inventory. The script will be replicated when they join, ensuring the UI items are available from the start of their gameplay experience. I see. Okay. I get replicated first. Server script service. Simplify? I want them to simplify. Oh, you said that yesterday. Oh, I think it was someone else. Yeah, I think it was someone else. Okay. Let me ask what simplify the definitions for server script service server storage and still slightly confused. Server script service is where you can store scripts that run on the server. These scripts handle server-specific tasks and logic, managing player data and controlling game mechanics or performing calculations. They are not accessible to clients and only run on the server. So if something that only runs on the server, what would I use server script service for?
Can I see your skill?
What would I use that for? These scripts handle server-specific tasks and logic such as managing player data, controlling game mechanics, or performing calculations. They are not accessible to clients and only run on the server. Server storage. Server storage is where you store assets that are meant for server use. These assets can include models, audio files, textures, or any other resources that are needed on the server. They are not accessible to clients and are typically used for storing and managing server-side resources. So, what does it mean by not accessible to clients? I'll take a look at that later. Replicated storage is where you can store content that needs to be shared between the server and the clients. Store content. This can include scripts, models, audio files, or any other assets that should be accessible to both the server and the clients. The replicated storage is automatically replicated to clients when they join the game, allowing them to access the shared content. The simplified should give you clear understanding. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I understand a little bit. Just a tad bit. So it's managing player data, controlling game mechanics. Run on the server. For assets, I'm not sure. Server storage or replicated storage? They should be accessible to both the server and the clients. For replicated storage, what do you mean by should be accessible to both the server and clients? The server can access and use objects in replicated storage to perform server-side operations. For example, can use scripts or modules in replicated storage. For example, the server can use scripts or modules in replicated storage to handle game logic, manage shared data, or perform calculations that are necessary for the game's functionality. Client access, who join the game, will also access use the objects in replicated storage. This allows the clients to interact with and utilize the shared content. For example, clients can use scripts or modules in replicated stores to display UI elements, play sounds, or perform client-side calculations that enhance their gameplay experience. By placing objects in replicated storage, you ensure that they are both replicated or copied from the server to the clients when they join the game. This allows both the server and clients to access and use the shared content, enabling consistent and synchronized gameplay experiences across all connected players. It's important to note that while the objects in replicated storage can be accessed by both the server and clients, any changes made to these objects on the client side will not be replicated back to the server. The server has the authority to overwrite any changes made by clients to maintain consistency and prevent cheating or exploits. I see. Okay. Will we be needing those? Can I like move? Replicated storage would be... Why did he put the remote event in replicated storage for remote events? I've covered remote events before. Remote events, let's take a look at that. I'm probably gonna add like sounds for my game. Okay. Create a remote event, put inside a replicated storage. So what it does is grab the remote event, game get service. Get service inside whatever script you're making. Remote event. Actually, add a script inside the server script service. Server script service. So on the server side, and you want to do something that's global, we would add something that I'm trying to figure out the uses for these services. Let's get a better understanding. So server script service contains scripts that are meant to be used on the server side. Replicated storage stores what? Let me check. Server script service takes care of... Okay, just to make sure. I just want to remember that. Server storage is stuff that is contained in the server. Let me double check. Clients who... Let's see. Replicated storage is where you store... No. Server... No. Wait, server storage. Server storage is where you store assets that are meant for server use. These assets can include models, audio files, textures, or any other resources that are needed on the server. They are not accessible to clients. I wonder what they mean by this. Like, how can you have models when they're not accessible to clients and they can't even see it? Storing and managing server-side resources. So, okay, let me ask why? Server storage, store models that can be physically seen even though it isn't accessible to clients. What is the use? Even though they are not accessible to clients, because it serves as a container for server-side resources that are needed for various purposes.
What is that?
Preloading assets. Server storage allows you to preload or store assets that can be used later in the game. For example, if you have a large map or complex models that are not immediately needed by clients when they join the game, you can store them in server storage. This helps reduce network traffic by not sending these assets to clients until they are required. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Server-side operations. Server storage is useful for storing objects that are used exclusively by server-side scripts. These objects may include invisible triggers, checkpoints, or other server-specific events that are necessary for game mechanics or calculations. By keeping them in server storage, you ensure that they are only accessible and manipulated by server scripts, maintaining control over the game's logic and preventing clients from interfering with these elements. I see. Okay. So server storage would contain, like, if you had a map that a player wanted to, like, go to, it would still not be accessible until we, like, do something with it. Like, but I wonder how we can make it visible to the client. Like, how do we load in that? This is used for server-side research operation, professor, blah, 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 blah. Yes, okay, this makes a lot more sense. Okay. So he would put the script that connects the remote event. Inside the server script service. And then when this is called inside the server script service on the server side, it's going to do stuff like he did in the tutorial. What he made this do was he deleted a part when the delete key was made.
Wordy.
What? Me?
What? You're ugly.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, that was a nice, some good progress. Let's see. Okay. Data storage. Cool. Okay. So let me ask it. If I wanted to store a map that wasn't yet needed, the player loads in, how would I load that map if the player needs it? This is not only when you create a persistent model, persistent loaded event. Persistent loaded. Saving data, remote events and callbacks, character, remote events and callbacks. Remote event on server, on client event, fire all clients, on client event connect function, arguments. Client server, all clients. Oh. This one fires to the client, this one fires globally. I see. Okay, I see. This is some good documentation. Remote events. Let's see. It can facilitate one-way communication from client to server, from server to client, or from the server to all clients. Oh. Event firing. From the client server boundary, the sender will yield to receives a response from the recipient. Okay. Character pathfinding? Optionally hazardous materials or defined regions. Wow, pathfinding is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. I'll get to pathfinding later. On persistent loaded. Workspace persistent loaded. Saving data? Where is persistent loaded? Persistent loaded, please? Yeah, this is so much. Persistent loaded. Okay, let me check to see if that exists. Let me check the object browser. Or, yeah, object browser, persistent. Persistent loaded.
No.
Pathfinding service. Okay, they gotta be R. Graphics mode. Okay. Let me go back here. Persistent model. Persistent loaded. What is persistent loaded? Where did they get persistent loaded? Right here, okay. Less atomic. The player parameter indicates which player has received all applicable instances. Note that before persistent loading and firing of the data model .loaded event does not indicate that all persistent models are. Okay. Ancestry changed. Connect on ancestry changed. Attribute change. Wow, this is some serious stuff.
I like the cat up here.
Very low res picture. Destroying. Deprecated. Child added, which should be used instead. Persistent loaded event? I'm not even sure. You'll need to load the map profile form. How do I load the map though? instance cloning. If your map is pre-built and stored in a separate model, yes, this is exactly like what I'm looking for. You can use the clone method to create a copy of the map and insert it into the game when needed. This allows you to load the map as a separate instance in the game world. You can use the model clone method to create a copy of the map and then insert it into the workspace or a specific location using the instance clone method. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Okay, I see. This is a pretty useful information.
Oh, I can't wait to
Instance cloning right here. Let me copy this. This is some pretty juicy information. Just put this in the bottom. Starter character scripts. Starter player scripts. Okay, let me go back and okay. Meant for server use. So replicated storage. No. Server storage stores stuff. So server storage, let's see. Storage just for server. Storage just for the server. And load in game anytime. And other stuff. Server script service is let's see. Replicated storage. What does that do? Replicated storage.
nice.
Server script service is where you can store scripts that run on the server. These scripts, so only scripts. Places for scripts. No one can read it except the server. Okay, got it. Controlling game mechanics. Okay, got it. This one makes sense. Server storage is okay. Got that one. Replicated storage. So you can store content that needs to be shared between the server and the clients. Include scripts, models, audio files. Give me a use for replicated storage. So to store and share objects between the server and all connected clients. Here's an example on how you can use replicated storage. Okay. You can use replicated to store and share data that needs to be accessed by both. So for example, if you have a game that tracks the player's score, you can store the score value in a value object within replicated storage. That's both the server and the clients to access and update the score as needed. Okay. I see. In this example, the server creates an int value of the game score, replicated to store the player's score, clients and so sharing data. I see. So that needs to be accessible by both the server, client side script, get storage, score. I'm still a little iffy on server and replicated storage. But I do get these two. So let's see. Okay, so it was replicated storage was stores the event. It stores the event, goes to the server, and then it fires this, or it fires, it goes here and then it fires the remote event. I'm a little confused, but let's see if we can make this work. Here, I have a friend that should be able to help. Just load up Discord real quick on my other monitor. Okay, why did it do that? Please, no. Move away. Okay, I'm gonna ask my friend. think this is going to be the key to moving on to the next step of learning this game, how to code this game.
Emotions.
He's not replying. He's not online right now. But before I move on, this is what I want to learn. So I'm probably gonna end it here. There's nothing really much to do right now. So probably gonna save to Roblox, close. Okay. Alright. Peace out, guys.
No.